All right, so I am going to close off everybody's audio. Hang on a second. Let me get that done. Chat.
Thank you.
Audio. I am going to.
I'm going to give you the application so you can fill it out. You didn't fill out the guest card, right?
Okay. I've shut everybody off, so now we'll have some quiet. So thank you for being on the call today. This one is a little bit different. This is going to be a little bit different perspective because I had asked you at the end of at the end of February to send me marketing ideas, and of course we're all so busy that I didn't get any, and I didn't follow up with you on it. So it's as much my fault as it is anything else. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go back and pull up some of the ideas that I have exchanged with other managers over time. Some of these will be ideas that work, some won't, but that's the beauty of brainstorming. So if you see something on one of these documents that looks weird or sounds weird, or you're going, that'll never work, I get it. Sometimes they don't work. So just be patient with that and understand that there'll probably be an idea down the road that will. So I want to start us off. You can see I've got a number of documents open here. Be sure that you can all see my screen. I've clicked the screen on. I want to look at a couple of items here. I have a dear friend who, with KSI Management, who does marketing for both high-end luxury deals and affordable marketing. This is Kettler Management. What they've done, we have not done and we can't do, but what they've done is they've just put all of their affordable housing properties under an umbrella called the Fields brand. So everything is like, for us, we've got Meadows at Bentley. We would be the Fields at Bentley. We would be the Fields at Giddings. We would be, and identify ourselves that way. So we can't do that. But this is some of the tagging that she has used in the past on her affordable housing marketing. I'm very concerned that we represent ourselves as quality housing, and we don't diminish the fact that we're not a high-end A deal, but we provide an absolutely necessary niche for people who need rental housing. Some of you on the call are on senior affordable housing. Some of you on the call are, quite frankly, on high-end conventional stuff. I think that this migrates across all brands. So I think that some of the things that she's used here, your needs are met now and in the future. An apartment you can grow with, a home that can keep up with you. I think those are powerful branding messages that work across all income criteria. And I think that we need to also uplift and raise the fact that we are reserving our apartment homes for those based on income, provide quality living at affordable rates for a group of individuals who qualify. So rather than making that be a barrier, I think that just needs to be a distinguishing factor and actually help us in marketing. So here are a couple other things that they have used to sell the brand under smart. They use something they call smart living. I think we could probably steal some of that that messaging. If your income exceeds the level, you may be referred to another community. The tip that they have on here is keeping those income guidelines off the main marketing page. We all got websites. I think it's great to put our apartment homes are reserved based on qualifying income levels, something like that, but not putting the actual levels on the main page. I think that kind of messaging, number and type of apartment set aside for income based on income levels, and the fact that we reserve our homes based on qualifying income levels. Somebody asked if we will email the notes after this, and the answer is yes. Also, I am recording it, and I have done this in the past to folks. I record it and I put it in my Dropbox, and then if you want to listen to it or look at it, I can send you a link, and I think that will work. I think also we have to use the fact that many of our affordable properties are actually located in very convenient locations, easy to get onto highways. Sometimes people would perceive those as not always the best locations, but I think saying that we're in the middle of it all, central location, those are all things that can work well. Some great ideas here for marketing affordable properties is updating color. Sometimes it's just buying some new accessories. I've been in some of our offices on the properties, and sometimes our office decor gets kind of old looking, and we can't afford to get new furniture. I'm a huge fan of going to rental furniture companies and that we work with and see if they will give us the basics. And then, you know, going and buying like at a Nebraska furniture mart, some kind of just new pillows. It's amazing what fresh colored pillows and accessories will do. Maybe you've had the same accessories and the same color scheme, and it's been a teal color or something. You know, ditch it and buy 5 or 6 items in a different color. I think this is important. I think that there's a show of pride that is necessary in our offices, and I quite frankly haven't always seen it. Just because you're affordable doesn't mean that you can't dress properly and look professional. Take a lot of pride in your appearance. Quite frankly, that makes you feel better, and it also makes your customers feel better. They're not going to tell you that. You have to have some self-pride there. On hold and voicemail messages. Let's be energetic. Think about what we're telling people when they have to leave a message, if they leave a message. Incidentally, statistics show that when the phone rings for three rings and it's about to roll to our voicemail message, lots of times folks just hang up. So never, never, never assume that an unanswered call is going to voice messaging. It may not be. I think focusing on what we have is important. So I just wanted to put that up there for you to look at. Another one that I want us to look at is this one, marketing affordable properties. Again, KSI is the name of the group that I'm borrowing this from. I think that this is true. Your property is defined by your advertising, your employees, the first person people see when they walk in the door, on-hold music or messaging, anybody who overhears a customer complaint, of course, and then just remembering that we have a brand. I know a lot of people in Class A properties talk about how important reputation and brand is, but ladies and gentlemen, that is not any different than it is for us. So what I want to point out to you is Karen, when she first took over the affordable property, she did a little resident survey, and she had already done that in her upscale properties. And so when she was told that she was going to have to take over marketing and management on the affordable communities, you know, everybody told her, hey, it's going to be really different. It's going to be a different angle, a different perspective than you've got at upscale communities. So what she did was she said, I don't know whether that's true or not. So she took the same questions, the same survey that she used on her upscale community and used it on her affordable communities. And so you can see on the slide here, side by side, how those results came back. Those of you that have been managing on our affordable communities for a while, I hope that this looks write to you. I'm going to quickly check the chat box. Again, if you've got any kind of comments to make, or yeses or nos, or that sucks or whatever, please let me know. So it's interesting, side by side. Everybody wants to be valued as an individual. Look at the affordable company, affordable property survey responses. Value me as an individual. We get kind of, burned up by all of our residents wanting special treatment, but the fact of the matter is we're all customers and we all want to be valued as an individual. Look at the second one. Even though I'm going to whine and complain if you're exerting the policy on me, I still want a place to live that I can count on being run orderly. I count on that. People want to be able to know that when they point something out or something that needs to be looked at, they want action. So our ability to handle that is really important. I think we need to change our perspective, that it's not whining and it's not just always something else. Where I live, I think this is really a good one. Where I live is a place along the way in my path of achievement. So I think that's especially true of our affordable clients. Many of them are aspiring to move someplace else, ultimately to elevate, to raise their standard of living. So this is a place in a journey. Help me belong. Isn't that interesting that both high-end and affordable people, it's important for you and me. It's important to me. I need to fit somewhere, and I need to feel like I fit. Look at this one, keeping the rules. I think that really is important for affordable people, because oftentimes affordable people are working in jobs where they may not have a large voice, they may not have a say in what things that are going on. So any place, they respect the rules. Treating me with my respect. My apartment is a step along the way to my path of success. So I thought that was interesting. So her conclusions on that survey when it comes to affordable property is meet the basics. Value people as people. Fix things on a timely basis. Show respect and personalize as much as we can. Amenities and ambiance. Ambiance is an air, an atmosphere. I think sometimes we think, hey, we're affordable housing. We've only got the basic nuts and bolts. We only have a nickel and a dime to be able to afford to do things. But you, ladies and gentlemen on the call, you set the mood. You set the environment. You set the ambiance. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into our offices, and what I notice, and this is just a Sue hot button, is I notice smudges on walls and fingerprints on door jambs and stuff. And it's like something that you see every day. But if I want to run a clean place, I've got to keep it clean. And then I think this is also, I think we do a good job at this one. When we walk into locations, I overhear our staff greeting residents with a very upbeat and friendly mannerism, and I think I think we do good at that. And there were just some other things. Use good photos. It's interesting. Hugh and I talked late yesterday afternoon about a property that we may be taking over management of it, I looked it up online and looked at the website, and unfortunately it's the standard photos of what is pretty much a plain vanilla property. What really piqued my interest is when I drilled down and looked at some interior shots. They had taken a couple vacants and just done the mini model kind of routine at it, and they looked really great. So think about your photos. Somebody just chatted in that it is the little things that do matter the most. Now, unfortunately, whoever wrote that comment, I see you listed as manager. I don't see a name and I don't see a property name. So please, go, if you would go back and write that in, that'd be great. Okay, thanks. All right, I want to get a little bit more specific here. I'm going to downsize this and go up to a couple of very specific, these are brainstorming documents from sessions where we actually did roundtables and circulated answers and to some of these questions. So again, not all of these challenges are going to fit for you. So please don't stress about that because the next one may work well. I know that this is true for a number of us. We have our comps have washers and dryers and we don't. All right, somebody said, what if you don't have a website? Would you please contact your supervisor because we have kind of a standard template website at Alpha Barnes, and they should be able to set one up for you that will feed right off of the Alpha Barnes website. So that should be able to be handled for you. So just a couple of ideas here. If other people got washers and dryers that we don't, our amenities are very limited. I got to tell you, a lot of our sites have got some really awesome amenities. So in this case, we're looking at properties that don't. So again, if you're forcing people to have to use a laundry room, I think the messaging the fact that you can get more wash done in a shorter time, maybe once a quarter make free laundry day. I like this idea, supplying soap and Febreze or Shout on a limited basis. I'm not telling you to buy enough to fund everything, but maybe those are little thank you gifts that people appreciate. I will tell you that if you don't have a washer and dryer in your apartment, it does save on utilities. I think we also have to call them either laundry centers or clothes care centers. I'm a huge fan of working with your laundry center provider and seeing if we can repaint those rooms, get away from or changing the lighting so it's not so clinical. We have that institutional vinyl flooring, and I realize that we have to have that because it's oftentimes better for us if we have a leak or we have an equipment failure, but it does make the laundry room feel really sterile. Magazines asked to change out equipment, a free soda with each load of wash, a little baggies with snacks. Granted, all I'm talking about here, all of these listings are going to have to, make probably more opportunities for you to have to clean the laundry room. But I'm telling you, I've walked into too many laundry rooms where you've got dryer sheets blowing around and big old lint balls in the corner. If I have to use a facility because there's no place else for me to go, it should be a place that I know will be clean and cared for. I should not have to walk into a place that's got stuff all over it. Challenge number 2, maybe you're a little bit off the beaten path. I'm very familiar with a lot of our properties. We have to actually go get our traffic, that our traffic isn't necessarily going to just drive by. So I think that when we direct people, when we've got people on the phone, finding a landmark to give directions from, I think is important. Know your area, know what you can key off of, and it needs to be something that you're proud of. It also needs to be fair housing sensitive. So we don't want to make a church a landmark, but we also don't want to make the Exxon gas station that is now closed at the corner our landmark. I just don't think that serves us well. Always offer directions. Again, if you are in a place that's challenging, whether it's an email exchange or a phone exchange, always offer directions. Yes, people can absolutely use Google Maps or Waze to find you, but you and I both know that lots of times those are not accurate. Adding conveniences so people don't have to leave. One of the easiest things you can do is bulk laundry pickup and delivery. If you've got a laundromat nearby, I know a lot of our folks that live don't do a whole lot of dry cleaning, but pickup of bulk items is really also good. We're an older property. Here's one I imagine a lot of you are having. Older property competing with newer neighbors, lots of amenities. Here it's really going to come down to keeping that back door shut so that people don't leave you. I am a huge fan of clean. Even though it's old, there should be no reason for it not to be clean. A fresh coat of paint goes a long way. I think also having a staff meeting where you sit down and talk with your staff about what they feel are our key value adds. Also continuing to ask residents who live with us over time what keeps them there. And if they say something like, hey, the rent is cheap, then the message to you is you've got a quality living experience at a reasonable price, and people value that. Years of business. I had a leasing conference call with a leasing agent, and she's on a 45-year-old deal. And there's some other new deals that are around her. And she was the oldest in the group, and yet her rental rates looked pretty comparable. They were a little bit less expensive, but I asked her, I said, so how do you maintain that? How do you take care of that conversation about you being so old? And she basically said, we've been on this property, we've been managing this property for a number of years, and I sell the fact that stability, that we're not going anywhere, that we're taking care of this asset, that we think it's a jewel, that we think its age actually has value. It's stable. And she said, I get a lot of positive feedback from that. So I think it's a matter of how much you believe in that. You know, if you don't believe in it and it's coming out of your mouth, then it's not going to show well. But if you do, I think the value is what we've got to sell. Convenience and value. Install a coffee machine. Partner with a daycare or a gym. 5 minutes, 24 minutes. Challenge number 3, I've got consistent and creative resident events. That is so true. I am teaching a CAM class in Tarrant County. Just started it this week, and we talked a little bit about resident events, and everybody in the room agreed that even though, you know, the times have changed and people are connected to their social machines as opposed to face-to-face, she said, we find everywhere that resident events really make a difference. And I think you have to customize those. So I don't know how much we're renewing and increasing rent, so this may not apply to many of you, but from this group of managers that I had earlier this week, most everybody is doing some kind of renewal attention. It might be just shampooing carpets. It might be an accent wall. But everybody is trying to do something to keep people excited about living there. I think a cost of living analysis is important. Many of us are on capped properties where we can't increase the rent much. But even if you start to get pushback from your residents, you know, the fact of the matter is the cost of living is going up. It hasn't gone up a lot, but if your rent is only going up 1%, the cost of living has gone up. The consumer price index has gone up over 3%. And if your housing can be stable or only go up minorly, that's a value statement. I am a huge fan of this move. When somebody comes in to renew a lease, do your homework. Get that file out. Look at how many times we've done work orders in there. If you hopefully you track it, what events you saw them at, and just don't teach them or put your finger in their face, but just say, hey, thanks for letting us take care of your home. I see we were in your apartment over the last 6 months 4 times. We appreciate the opportunity to take care of where you live. And even if, again, they don't, here's the thing, even if they don't renew and they leave you, you are going to feel better about that conversation and about the quality and housing that you've given to them. Now, here's another good one. We're an affordable property in an area that is largely over income. I had a manager who has a property in this class who has an affordable property out by the Texas Motor Speedway. She actually backs up to a golf course. The Marriott is across the street from her, and she is having trouble, and she's just highly amenitized, brand new, great looking place, but she's got people walking through the door that don't qualify. So I think these are, when you're in that kind of a situation, we got to go look for people. We're probably going to have to do that at this property that we're going to take over management of. I did that at Mejia Gardens when we were taking over a little Mejia Gardens. We looked so good. We were a fabulous property, but we had to go get people. Now, I would not add check cashing. That's not a good thing. But we have to go find the people often that need to live at our locations. And then last one on this little group is we're getting old. We used to be luxury. We used to be awesome, but we're getting old. So again, think about that little leasing agent, relatively new to the industry. And I love that because I think sometimes we as seasoned people that have been in the industry for a long time, we forget that there's a new message all the time. Architectural, what's old is new again, retro living. There are other ways. You can't make yourself a new property. If you're an older property, there's no way that you can make yourself new again. So we just step away from it and alternate that with other value-added propositions. All right, I want to, again, I apologize, I'm going kind of long here. Here's some more ideas. Ways to generate traffic from more than the usual sources. Again, not all of these will work. You've got a little family restaurant or deli next to you. It's very, very easy to print off fun little placemats and buy some inexpensive crayons. Doesn't have to be a lot of expense. These are all ideas that I didn't make from managers. I love this one, pet fashion show. Isn't that funny? Ways to generate traffic for free. Coloring contests, blood drives, a service project, back of business cards, nursery school outreach. People don't normally go to bookstores, but a canned food drive. Right now we're approaching Easter, and while we can't advertise it perhaps as an Easter function, but a spring holiday food drive. Ways to get positive. Okay, I'm on a senior property. We cook for them about every other, hang on, somebody just chatted in. Here's some of the things we do. I'm on a senior property. We cook for them about every other month. They can come to the clubhouse and participate. We give door prizes. The ones unable to come, we'll deliver a plate of food to them. We also give out treat bags of candy. At holidays, the residents love it, and they tell everybody that they appreciate it. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. But I think that sometimes the well runs dry. There's lots going on in your world right now. It's springtime, so traffic's about to pick up. And so we just kind of run out of ideas and follow-up. So use these documents as a way to kind of just, you know, kind of refresh your thinking. I am a huge fan of partnerships with small businesses in your neighborhood. Just remember that, you know, many of us on affordable properties, our residents don't have a lot of what I would call disposable income. But if you've got businesses in the area, the likelihood that they might spend some money there goes up if we have a partnership. And maybe it's just a partnership where if you show that you live at Happy Hills Apartments, you get 5% off your purchase, or even some kind of small thing. Discount coupons. All right, another one more, and then I will 20 ways to promote resident referrals. Office, and many of us do. Put a little sticker. Go to get some labels, some shipping labels, maybe the bigger size ones that are like 10 to a page, and run them through your laser printer and put don't forget about resident referral something. And every time you hang on to a package for somebody, stick a referral tag on it. Publish the name of people who are referring. I would obviously ask for permission before that. Gas cards are still, you know, still work in terms of referrals. Free pet rent if you're doing it. And then this is some more ideas for the same category, 20 ways to promote resident referrals. These are just some more ideas that came up out of the meetings. Personal or email invitations. Maintenance leaves a reminder on work orders about referrals. Treasure hunt at the property. I love scavenger hunts. We would do that with my sons when they had to find their Easter baskets. We would hide clues all around the house, including outside, and they would have to go from clue to ultimately find their Easter basket. Okay, so I know that's an Easter idea. Okay, this goes kind of more to a resident complaint, but obviously I will include that. It's not necessarily a marketing idea, but resident complaints. Obviously, it's hard. You want to say thank you, and then often mentioned, Sandra, you mentioned earlier, you know, making a new resident and feel welcome and a move-in hassle-free. I think that's important to us in the affordable properties, because a lot of times our residents come into move-in situations and maybe they had a horrible one at the last place they moved into. So their expectation level is really low. They don't expect this to be an awesome experience. So even just going a little bit beyond make a difference. Some of this stuff you can afford, you know, maybe on your budget. Others of you can't. I totally get that. 20 ways to promote renewals, of course. We've talked a little bit about that. So I just want to leave you back that this needs to be more fun. And I realize that sometimes stuff out to you. I'll probably do an all property email and just make these attachments so you can download them as you need them. And you know, if you want to throw them out and not use them, that's your business. I just think it's fun to have fun, and sometimes we just run out of ideas. The well runs dry. It runs dry for all of us from time to time, and I think that's when we have to depend on each other to to get the energy back up again. And just, you know, March 2nd, here we are. You're in the middle of collecting rent, and I realize that this has been another early month webinar. I think next month we go a little bit later, but use these, just print them off, and if you see one that you really want to use, pick it, or talk it over with your staff to see which ones they feel are going to work, are going to work better. This, you know, our ideas, sharing ideas is a good way to foster creativity. So I thank you guys for putting in some ideas. I will also add that to the email from the chat log, because remember, I do get to keep a chat log for people that do chat in, and that's how I also monitor attendance. So I will be sure to include that in an email. Okay, so we're at 9:36. We like to keep these short. Thanks for being on the call. I will let you go and get back to work. We have 75 people on the call. That's awesome. Either that or we are really starving for marketing ideas. So thank you for being on the call. Have a great rest of your month, and watch for an email from All Properties. I'll also copy admins and your supervisors so they see what you're getting as well. All right. Have a super day. Thanks for being on the call.